Inshallah.
Yes, inshallah.
Right. Okay, so inshallah we'll start. Here's our, let me get my thing out of the way. Okay. Okay, so نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قال الله تعالى إن هدى الله هو الهدى وقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم خيركم من تعلم القرآن وعلمه صدق الله العظيم وصدق رسوله الكريم ربي اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي اللهم ارحمني بالقرآن العظيم واجعله لي إماما ونورا وهدى ورحمة واجعله لي حجة يا رب العالمين آمين ربي يسر ولا تؤسر وتمم بالخير السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Assalamu warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Alhamdulillah, once again, with the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we are joined here to continue our learning. And today, as we planned, we are going to do a review. We are in session number 3. We have, alhamdulillah, covered a lot of valuable information. So in order to retain it, we are going to do these exercises together, and also I'm going to take step by step all the way from the class number 1 up to now. And then after the break, we are going to learn a new concept which will take us to the next level, inshallah. So how's everybody feeling so far about this information?
Alhamdulillah.
Okay, one by one. Brother Yaqub, go ahead. Okay, Sister Jahan.
Alhamdulillah. Yeah, still grasping the present, and slightly like more revision is required, I think, for the past which we have done. Like,
Yaqub bhai, are you able to spend any time outside of the class on this?
yes.
And are you, maybe you can partner up with somebody in the house, if you discuss it with them, inshallah, then it will be even more faster learning. Okay.
Inshallah.
Jazakallah khair. Sister Jahan, you were saying something?
Sorry.
You were saying something about the understanding.
Hello. Assalamu alaikum.
Yeah. Al-Salaam. Can you hear me?
You're very low.
Very low. Maybe the sound of your speaker.
Sound is very light.
Okay. Maybe you have to adjust the speaker sound on your side. Is anybody else having difficulty hearing me?
Assalamu alaikum. No, we can hear you clearly.
Oh, okay. Well,
Jahan, you have to maybe
Volume
up.
Raise the volume.
Yeah, volume up on your computer.
Volume is on the highest.
Yes, Assalamu alaikum. Yeah, I think the volume goes up and down. It's fluctuating from your side as well. But right now it's okay.
Well, I can hear okay with the others, but it's only when Brother Abid talks. Only when Brother Abid talks, that's when I cannot hear too well. But when others talk, then I'm fine. Anyway.
Now I put the mic very close to my mouth.
Okay, yeah, it's fine now. Yeah, I can hear you. Alhamdulillah.
Everybody else can hear me? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So again, after the review session, I'm sure that some of you are, if you're having some issues with the understanding, those will go away because we are gonna go all the way from the beginning till the end. So let's quickly do these exercises together. I'm not gonna take names. So whoever can give me the answer, we take it from there. So first thing, we're just gonna do the same thing, like sa'ala. Right away, what comes to your mind? Anybody?
Mahmoud.
Mahmoud, very good. And what kind of position?
Ain position.
Ain position, very good. Anybody else? Wa'ada?
Mahmoud. Oh, sorry, this one Mu'attal.
Mu'attal, but what kind of mu'attal?
Is Misal.
And what the position?
Is Fa.
Okay. Somebody else now? Talawa?
Oh, wow. It's For lam
Akis.
position.
Lam
And it's,
position, yeah.
and it's nakas, and it's
Nakis, very good.
wawi.
Lam wawi, mashallah. Sister Nasreen, you're next.
Okay.
Tababa,
Madaf.
madaf. And what are the positions?
Ayn and Lam, but they don't have names.
Yeah, they don't have name.
Mm.
Khawifa. Anybody else?
Lafif,
Lafif, mashallah. And why you said Lafif?
because Vav is in this center.
It's not Lafif then. It's Gorbachev.
Yeah.
Ajwa.
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 Very good. Wawi. Okay.
Ashwal.
Hayya. Somebody else.
Yeah.
Next person.
Macaron.
Makroon. Very good. And it's Lafif. It's
Lafif.
Lafif, Makroon, mashallah, because they are right next to each other.
Each
Ya
other.
and Ya is right next to each other. Okay. Very good. Now, let's do this one. Oops. Okay, Wajada. Who can tell me what Wajada is?
Misal.
Misal. And Wawi or
Wawi.
Yai?
Wawi.
Okay, very good. Next one. Da'awa. Brother Khalid.
Da'awa is naqis, mu'tal.
Motal Nakis and it's
It's
Wawi.
wawi.
Very good. Okay. Amara. Brother Javed. Anybody else?
Can I
Mahmuz.
tell? Mahmuz,
Mahfuz.
Okay, very good. Mahmuz of what?
because Alif,
Fa.
it's Hamza. So the
Alfa.
first one is
Yes.
Hamza. Yeah,
Alfa.
Alfa.
Mahmuzul Fa. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Kawala.
Ajwaf.
Ajwaf. And it is
Wawi.
Wawi. Very good. Waqaya.
Lafif naqis.
Lafif Nakis.
And mafruq.
Mafruq.
Okay. That's enough. That's good enough. Okay. Farara.
Madaf.
Ta'af. Very good. All right. Now let's do one more. See. Rawaya.
Lafif.
Lafif mafruq.
Lafif. Okay.
Mafruq.
Makroon, because
Makroon.
Waw and Ya is
Oh yeah,
right
yeah,
next to
makrun,
it.
makrun.
No problem, no problem. It's okay. Qara'a. That should be
Mahmuz.
easy.
Mahmuz.
Mahmuz
Mahmuz
of
al-Lam.
what position?
Lam.
Lam.
Very good. Hadaya.
Mahmuz. Oh, sorry. This one is Misal. Mu'tal.
Nakis.
Nakis.
Naqis,
Naqis.
Yayi.
Nakis and Yai.
Yeah.
Yai, mashallah. Okay, next one is Brother Nasib. He was trying to answer. Hadada.
Hadada is it Mudaf?
Daf, because
Yes.
of the double letter, right?
Double
Daf, and it is double letter in the Ain and Lam position. Okay, good. Baya'a. Okay, who is gonna do this one?
Ajwaf, Yayi.
Mu'tal ajraf.
Ajwaf Yai, mashallah, very good.
Okay.
Okay, Yasara.
Misal.
Misal.
Yayi.
Wawi.
Al-Wawi.
No.
No,
Misal. Yayi.
Yai.
Yai, mashallah, very good job. Okay, so we know this chart now. We have Mahmuz, which means there is a Hamza in the root letters, and the Hamza could come in the Fa letter, Fa position, Ain, or Lam position. Agree? Is this information now pretty simple? Is already retained in your brain? Yes. So Mahmuz is good. Okay. Muda'af, double letter.
Letters.
They can be right next to each other. They could be there with the separation,
Yeah.
or they can be in the Fa and Ain position, Fa and Lam position, and they could be in the Ain and Lam position.
Lam position.
Right? Okay. Then Mu'tal, we have the Waw and Ya in the Fa position called. Let's do the whole thing, and then we'll talk about. So Misal is when the weak letter is in the Fa position.
The Fa position.
Ajwaf is when the weak
And
letter
position.
is in the Ain
And
position,
position.
mashallah. And the Lam position is Naqis.
Naqis.
Yeah. And then we have something called Lafif, when the two weak letters are right next to each other, or they have a letter in between them. Yes, that we call
Yeah.
lafif. For the condition 1, we call it makroon, and for the condition 2, we call it mafrook.
Mafrook.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, since misal, ajwaf, and nakis have the waw and the ya in the fa position, ain, and lam position, so they are known as misal wawi or misal yai, right? Or ajwaf wawi or ajwaf yai, or nakis wawi, nakis yai. So far, if you know this table and if you understand most of it without much thinking, then you are ahead of the game already, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
Right? I want everybody to feel very happy and comfortable that this is a complex topic. And after 3 sessions, if you have got this much, you are doing excellent. You agree with me? Everybody agree
I
with me
don't
on
know.
this?
We are okay when we see a
All
picture.
right.
You know better.
I know. I'm happy. I'm very happy and I'm very proud of you guys because I'm telling you, one of my class when I start teaching it, the second time I was trying to teach, I had to give up because they didn't want it to continue. Okay, so you guys are doing excellent, and now the next review I'm gonna do is gonna even make you feel even more better. Okay, so now we have to think about it. Why did we do this? Do we really need to learn these? Yes, because the Quran is full of these. And just to tell you, next time when you read Surah Al-Baqarah, the very first paragraph, it is full of weak verbs. Okay? And now next time when you pay attention, you will see why these things don't come up to you right away because we didn't know the rules yet, but now we know the rules. Inshallah, you'll be able to identify those. So even the ulama is saying that okay, why we have to do this? But when they realize that the Quran is full of these, on every page you have tons of examples, then you cannot ignore it. Yes, and that is why I brought it this because I knew that if we find it difficult, we will try to ignore it, but we don't want to do that because Quran has a lot of usage for it. So we got the importance of this, why we are doing this.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So what is the end goal? The end goal is we are learning the basics of Arabic grammar Sarf. In Sarf, what do? We have 3 root letters and then we have some families, some patrons, and we use those root letters into those families, and those families become action names or actions, right? And then they change from one variation to the next. And how many variations we have looked at so far? 14.
14.
14 for Madi, 14 for Mudari.
Mudar.
Right?
Mudar.
So if we think about non-technical terms, this is what we are trying to do. This is our target. This is our goal. If I think of a verb in Arabic, I know that the minimum variations of that verb will be 14. Why? Because there are 14 pronouns. Yes. Why? Why 14? Because there are 14 pronouns. He did, they two did, they all did. You know, she did, they two female did, they all female did. You did, you two did, you all did. You know, male and then female. And then I did and we two did and we all did. You see? So these are 14 combinations. And the verb, you need to say these verbs because these are name of actions. So somebody is doing that action. Got it? Okay. So when we are dealing with the ghair sahih afwal, where we have mahmuz, muda'af, and mu'tal, they change their pattern in those conjugation. Follow?
Right.
So then, in order to understand those patterns, when we are dealing with mahmuz, we have to apply the rules of takhfif. What do we have to do?
Apply the rules of takhfif.
Takhfif. When we are dealing with muda'af, we apply the rules of idgham. Yes. And when we are dealing with mu'tal, we apply the rules of ta'lil. Okay. So in the session number 1, we learned takhfif. In the session number 2, we reviewed takhfif and we learned idgham. Follow? In session number 3, we are going to review takhfif, we are going to review idgham, and we are going to learn ta'leel. Follow?
Inshallah.
Inshallah. So now, before I go into a lot of details, for the takhfif, I want everybody to understand this information. When we are dealing with Hamza-ated verbs, what is Hamza-ated verbs?
Verbs
Mahmoud.
with
Mahmoud
Hamza.
Fa.
The word with the Hamza in it, right?
Yeah.
We apply rules of takhfif,
Takhfif.
especially when Hamza is Mahmuzul Fa. That's our, now everything I've taught you since day 1, I have summarized it on this page for
This is a
Mahmuzul Fa.
very good slide.
Yes. Yes. So this slide is basically your summary of what you have learned so far. So we said when we are dealing with Mahmuzul Ain and Mahmuzul Lam, the changes are very few, so we're not going to worry about them. But Mahmuzul Fa is where we are going to focus. Yes?
Yes.
So what are the rules of takhfif? Number 1, replace Hamza with a weak letter. Simple rule, very simple rule. If there is a Hamza in the position of Fa, you are trying to replace it with a weak letter. Now replacement is done on the basis of haraka. How many haraka we have?
3.
Fatha, Dhamma and
Amma
Kasra.
and Kasra.
And
When you have Fatha, the replacement will be Alif.
Alif.
If you have Dhamma, the replacement will be Wow.
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 And if it's Kasra, the replacement will be
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ya. The second rule is, if you cannot replace it with a weak letter, your goal is to remove it altogether. That is the rule of takhfif. Takhfif means hiding. The same thing like tajweed, ikhfa. What are you trying to do in ikhfa? You're trying to hide the sound of noon. Yeah? Okay. Some feedback? Yes,
Yeah,
no, maybe?
yeah.
Yes.
So these are the 2 simple rules. Anybody find them difficult to remember?
No.
No. So if I say what are the rules of takhfif, my mind should go to mahmuz, al-fi'lul mahmuz, and especially mahmuzul fa. Yeah?
Yeah.
Second thing, I have to deal with the hamza, so my goal is to replace it with a weak
Replace
letter.
Hamza with a weak letter.
Letter. If I can't do that, then I'm trying to replace it altogether. The good news number 1 was no change in the past tense conjugation. So the conjugation for past tense will not change. So is that a good news?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Because if we know the conjugation for past tense, and we know that, why? Because if you give me the root letters and you tell me what family pattern it is, I can draw them just by writing on the piece of paper. Agree?
Yeah.
Okay. In the future and present tense, only Siga number 13 changes. Yeah?
Yeah.
So, in this course, we apply these changes to 3 root letter families only. Are there families more than 3 root letters?
Yep.
Yes. But we are focusing on which one in this course?
Only
the
3
root letters. And what are those 6 families? Can somebody give me the names?
ينصر ضرب
Daraba, Imam, Hasiba,
سمع
Karuma,
Karuma.
يكتب
Sami'a, Fataha,
Hasiba. Right? Hasiba.
يحسب
So,
Karuma.
يحسب
Yasabu, yes. So the way I remember it, I say Nasara, Daraba, Fataha, Samiya, Hasiba, Karuma. So that is very quick. Okay. Any questions on this page so far?
Yes, Brother Abid, I think last time you said only the Siga number 13 and 14 will change. So it's just
I think I may have made a mistake, but when we look at the example, it's only Siga number 13.
all right, okay.
Okay. So look, now let's look at the next thing. So here is the example of then how do we replace the Hamza with a weak letter. Yeah. So we saw that if we have Hamza with the haraka and then Hamza with the sukoon, how do we write it? We basically write it with the standing alif. Yes.
Yes.
So watch this, the rule of takfif. So there is a Hamza with the haraka and then Hamza with the sukoon. Correct?
Yes.
Yes. So what happens? You are going to replace the Hamza Sakina with the haraka of the previous Hamza, which is Fatha. So Fatha replaces into what letter?
Alif.
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 You see that? You see that? Alif. This Hamza was sukoon, and so we removed it with the another weak letter, which is Alif. Got it? And then it can be written with the mad or with the standing alif. Yes. Okay, look at the second one. What is the haraka now?
Dhamma.
Dhamma.
Dhamma. So what is it going to replace it with?
Vav.
So it will become u.
Ooh.
Yes. Look at this one. With the what is the haraka? Kasra.
Mad. Kasra.
So it becomes ya.
E.
Yeah. E. Okay. Now look at this one. Can you see this amuru? Amuru.
Amuru. Amuru. Yes.
Now, do you see? Now apply the rules. Is there a haraka on the first letter?
Yes.
Yes.
And there is so these are two hamza, right? One with the haraka and one with the sukoon. Yes. So apply the rule number 1. So what is the haraka here?
Amuru.
Yes.
Amru.
So it is going to become like because you instead of writing two hamzas, you write one. I'm coming to you, Sister Nasreen. You write the hamza with the standing alif. Yes. Yes, Sister Nasreen.
Sorry, I had a little delay in understanding this because when you say muru, the first one, the original version, the pronunciation is muru.
Yeah.
But when you change it, it becomes muru.
Yes.
But we
So
have
these-
to apply
these-
the rule, and both are correct. But in the written version, we will only see muru.
Yes. So because of this situation, you will see that amuru there, not amuru. Yeah.
Right.
So that's what we need to learn, that the actual word was this, but we had, because of the rule of takhfif, because it was mahmud al-fa, we end up saying it amuru.
Right.
Yeah, because it's kind of hard to say this. Yeah. Okay, look at this one. What do we see here?
Akulu.
Akulu.
It will become
Akulu.
Akulu.
what happened here? These two hamzas, they were changed and written like this. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, but there is one more step in between, if you think, because we are going to remove the sukoon, then there will be alif only.
Alif, additional alif there, yeah.
Yeah, because look at this. I wanna go take you back so that you know what I'm talking about. See over here, when we had this rule, look what happened to the alif in the second over here. See over here, the hamza and the sukoon was
Disappeared.
removed. Yes, and this combination of hamza with the haraka and alif is with the standing alif here. Making sense?
Yeah.
So over here, in the next one, if I would have added one more step, but I think the guy forgot about that. But you guys understand now, right? You can
Yeah.
you can visualize
Yeah.
it. Okay. Now, ra'sun. Okay. Now here, before the hamza, do we have another hamza?
No.
Do we have any
No,
hamza?
we don't have
Now,
hamza.
and look, this one is not mahmuzul fa, by the way. I wanted to give you an example of mahmuzul lam and ain.
Fine.
Is this mahmuzul ain?
Yes.
No.
Yes, because the hamza is in the ain.
In the middle.
Oh, yeah, hamza. Yeah, sir.
Now what happens here? The rules applies the same. What is the haraka on the previous letter?
Fatha.
Fatha. So the hamza should replace with what?
Alif.
Alif.
Ra'sun. Ra'sun.
Ra'sun.
Ra'sun. Ra'sun. Not ra'sun. Ra'sun. Yeah.
Ra'sun.
Everybody sees that what happened here?
Yeah.
Rasun.
Yes. What happened? Because of the ra, the hamza needed to be replaced with a weak letter or get rid of it completely, correct? And this is an example of mahmuzul ain. Sister Homa, are you with me?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So the alif, the hamza sukoon change into alif because of the fatha and it become rasun. Okay, look at this one. The, bol.
Ibn.
Sister Jahan, I think you would be able to answer this. Where is the hamza?
Ain kalma.
Ain kalima. And what is the haraka on the previous letter?
It's kasra.
What are you going to change the hamza into?
Into hamza into alif.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at the kasra.
Yeah,
Kasra
yeah.
is what
Yeah,
letter?
alif. Oh, you're sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, look at this now. What happened? You see
Yeah.
that?
Zebun.
Zebun.
Zibun.
So this is how you apply the rules of taqfif. Now let's see. Mu'minun. Okay. So here also, what is going to become? Anybody?
Wow.
But this
Wow.
one is this one is more than 3 letters, brother. So,
Yes, that's okay. But the rules doesn't change. You're focusing on
so it's become
Ain.
mu'minun.
mu'minu.
Mu'minun.
Yeah. Because the waw will become.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
All
is
right.
this the replacing Hamza altogether?
Just taking out Hamza.
The replacement, you're
taking
right.
off.
It's the
Just-
replacement of.
Yeah, the green
the
ones are the
replacement.
replacing.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Jazakallah khair. Now, look at this one. Is this the Madi Garadan for Amara?
Yes.
This is the Madi,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes.
So, Amara, Amara, Amaru. Amarat, Amarata, Amarna. Amarta, Amartuma, Amartum. Amarti, Amartuma, Amartunna. Amartu, Amarna. Any change you see in here?
No change.
No change. Does that confirm the rule that in the Mazi conjugation there is no change when there is Mahmuzul Fa?
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is an example table, and I wanted you guys to draw this table with your own hand. And when you had done that, then this concept would be 100% clear in your mind. You follow?
Yes.
Now look at this one. Sorry, the next one. Is this the conjugation of mudare for
Yeah.
amara?
Yeah.
So ya'muru, ya'murani, ya'muruna.
Yamuruna.
Ta'muru,
Tamuru.
ta'murani,
Tamurani.
ya'murna.
Tamurna.
Yes?
Yes.
Ta'muru, ta'murani,
Tamurani.
ta'muruna,
Tamuruna.
ta'murina,
Tamurani.
ta'murani,
Tamurna.
ta'murna. Now look at the
Amuru.
amuru. Look at that.
Changes.
Figure number
13.
13.
18.
follow.
Yes.
Now, if we have to look at that, how do we decipher this thing? Can somebody help me?
It was Alif Fatha and then another Hamza with a sukoon.
Let's see if we can do this on a piece of paper. Okay. So we know that technically the 13th siga for mudare is
Afal, nafal,
afilu, right?
afilu, and nafilu.
Yes. So is that siga number 13?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I did.
Now what are our root letters? Hamza,
Hamza.
Hamza.
Mim and Ra.
Fa.
because
Hamza.
Amara, right?
Amar.
So I'm going to put alif as alif. Yes.
Yeah.
Is Hamza is the fa kalima?
Yeah.
Or the sukoons.
Okay. So how did they write it? I forgot. Let me see. Okay, let's see. So
You can add another.
Alif with
Alif
kasra.
Alif
No,
with
alif
Hamza.
with
wait.
sukun.
Yeah. So it's gonna be Hamza
Sitting on an
sukun
Alif.
and like this.
See
The
your chart, brother.
afulu, is it afalu? Or
We are not seeing your screen.
We can't see your
Wait,
screen.
hold on. That's what I'm trying to figure out. I have written it down somewhere here. Where did I put it?
Muru, right? It will be Alif Fatha, Alif Hamza Sukun.
Okay, so I'm just trying to figure out. I think it was af. Was it af ilu or af alu? That's the
Afalu.
thing.
Alu.
Af
أفعل
alu.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So then we know that this is the alif. This is our hamza.
همزة
So the meme should then have the fatha and then this dhamma,
آمنوا
Amalu.
right? Okay. So we know that this is where we have to apply the rule. So you will become, because of
ألف
this
كلا
fatha, you will
زبر
become
no
alif.
زبر كلا زبر yeah
Okay. So then like this, yes?
yes
Mhm.
Now we know that this can be written like,
Alif.
كلا زبر
Yeah.
got it?
yes yeah آمروا
Yeah. And okay, I think I found it right here. I had it all along. Okay, so I think I did this example last time, and yeah, we did it with amana. So can you guys see my screen?
yes
Yes.
آمنوا
Yes.
Okay, so you know I had af alu, so hamza mim noon. Then it was hamza, hamza with the fatha, hamza with the sukoon, and manu, and that these two become aman.
آمنوا
Aman. Remember this one? Because of this, then it become like that. So these are the rule of takfir. And how do you understand them or master them? By doing this exercise I just did.
writing and repeating
Yeah.
them
Yes, because if you do this, inshallah, then it will help you.
inshallah
Okay. All right. Let's go back. Okay. So everybody clear on this?
Yes.
Let's see how many people I have. 12 people today. Now,
yes
most of you understand this or just a few of you?
no we understand that Alhamdulillah
Brother Khurram, you're muted. Can you give us some feedback?
Yeah, this is new because I wasn't there in the last classes.
Oh, okay. All right, not a problem. Brother Javed,
Yeah, I'm getting it.
okay, good.
Slowly.
So again, my humble request that you have these material just for the sake of memorizing them or getting them 100%, just write it down with your own hand. Yeah, you will feel the difference once you do it. Okay, inshallah.
Okay.
So now we are done with the Mahmoud's review. We are going to now al muda'af. So what is muda'af? The double letter.
Double
Yes. So in some verbs, the second and the third radical are identical. Yes. In the muda'af, did we say that we are going to deal with when the weak letter, the muda'af is in the ayn and lam kalima, correct?
Yes.
The ayn and lam kalima is the second and the third radical, yes? In a three letter word. Okay. So what do we do in that? Our goal is again idgham. Idgham is merging. Yes? When we merge, we use shadda. Shadda means that the W sign, So look at the example. If we have the root letter zol, or what do you call it?
Dol.
Dod, and noon. So it becomes zanna.
zanna
That means to think. Husn zan. Urdu में हम कहते हैं husn zan. सोच, उसका सोचने का अंदाज. So to think, to suspect. So let's take a look at other stuff. So what rules we apply when we are dealing with the
Idgham.
Idgham.
You merge.
idgham.
Oh,
What is the meaning of idgham? To merge. Okay. All right. So when we are dealing with double letter verbs, we apply the rules of idgham.
idgham.
Especially when double letters are in the second and the third radical position, meaning the ayn and the lam.
Hmm.
What are the cases? What are the three cases we can have? Okay, the three cases are that if I have a double letter, like two letters, then the first letter is sakin and the second one has haraka. Is that making sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
The second case is that the both double letters have haraka. Making
Correct.
sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then the third condition is the first double letter has haraka and the second one is sakin.
Okay. No idgham.
No idgham. So in the first and the second category, we will apply idgham. But in the third category, we're not going to apply idgham. Are you with me on that so far?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. And one more thing we need to remember, that the changes occur in the first 5 sigas of past tense.
Madi.
After the sixth siga, they will become normal again. Yes? So in the past tense, where is this rule of idgham going to apply? In the first 5 conjugations. After that, it will become a normal conjugation. Are you with me so far, guys?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. In the present and future tense, it will only be applied to the feminine plural sigas, only the plural ones. Okay? And these rules apply on the 3 root letter verbs, specifically on the families of Nasara,
Daraba.
Daraba,
Nasara, daraba, samia.
Samiya. MashaAllah. So this is also the summary of everything you have learned so far about Muda'af from the rules perspective. Okay, so inshallah, when I share this with you and with the examples, you will understand how to make this happen, inshallah. So remember this one. Look at the siga number 1, zanna. Do you see idgham? You see
Yeah.
the
Yes.
Yes.
you see zanna, you see idgham with the shadda.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
siga number 2. Siga number 3, zannu.
Zannu.
That siga, there is idgham here.
Yes.
Yeah.
See the shadda. Number 4, zana, nat.
Zanna.
Zannat.
Zanna.
Zannat. Zannat.
Zannat, sorry. Zannat.
Zannata.
Zannat is siga number 3. You see the
There is
idgham?
siga.
Zanna.
Zannu.
Zanna. Yeah.
Look at number 5. Zannata. Yes,
Zannata.
the idgham is there. Look at number 6. Zananna. You see any
Zanna.
idgham here?
We all thought.
No, no idgham.
No idgham. Why it disappeared? Because we said only the first 5 sigas of past tense will have idgham and then it will not. Now how it happens, I'm going to show you on a piece of paper. But let's see if I can. Yeah, so here, if I look at my camera now, okay, and we will do this together, and this is the exercise we're going to do for the next 15 minutes, inshallah. Now, we said these rules apply to Bab Nasara, Daraba, and what else? Sami.
Samia.
Samia.
If I give you the example of Bab Nasara, is this number 1?
Yes.
Nasara.
Is this number 2?
Yes.
Okay, I want complete attention here because this is going to be a defining moment for us. Number 3, yeah.
Nasaru.
All right. So if I give you dad, ra, do you see ain kalima and lam kalima?
Yeah.
And is it muda'af?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if I substitute this root letter into nasara, siga number what? Number 1. What am I going to get? Darara.
Dara.
Yes. Okay. Let's do the thing first. This is the exercise I want you to do. And I'm doing it to show you how you can do this yourself. So you put nasara and you put darara. For nasara, you put darara.
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 Nasaru,
Dararu.
dararu. Yes.
Daru. Yeah.
Okay. Now, this is our ain kalima. This is our lam kalima. The both double letters have haraka. Is that case number 2?
Yes.
Sisters? Is
Yes.
this case number
Yes.
2?
There will
That
be
the
the
then
Yes.
haraka. Is it haraka?
Yes.
Yes.
Haraka, haraka. Yes.
Yeah.
What is our rule? Our rule is to make one of them sakina. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. But you have to remember one more thing. Before the ra, there is a dad. Now, does the dad has haraka already?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. If there was no haraka on the dad, I could have given this fatha to the previous one.
Dog. Yeah.
Remember, this is a very important rule. That if there was no haraka on dad, I could have simply moved this haraka over here and make it sukun.
Oh.
Yeah.
Got it?
Yeah.
But in this situation, I don't have that. So I am only going to forcefully make the first double letter sakina. You see that?
Yeah.
So what happened now? Dar ra. Dar ra. And this becomes same thing. The first one is haraka, second is haraka. So the first one we make it sukun. We become dar ra. Yes? Dar ru. Now, can you write something like this? Can you say dad sukun and dad? How do you write this?
And right.
Dad.
Write it dal with the shadda with the fatha on the shadda.
Yeah.
Making sense?
Mm-hmm.
So look what happened to darra. 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 Darru.
Yeah.
Can you guys see this? Please help me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah.
Yes.
Okay. So this is exactly what I want you to do. Take Bab Nasara, write down the first 5 siga. I only did 3. Yes. And I did 3 variations. First, I substituted just all the weak letters or all the letters under Nasara pattern. Yes. In the second pattern, I start applying the rule. And the third line, I have the final version. Follow?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So now you help me with this. Nasarat. Is this siga number 4?
Yes.
Okay. So what is the step number 1? We are going to put dad,
Step.
ra,
Varat.
is that correct?
Yes.
What I have done here, I have taken these root letters and applied into this pattern. First, I substituted the letters and then I substituted the harakas. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So, are we dealing with 2 letters with the haraka?
Yes.
Is there a haraka on the first letter?
Yes.
Yes.
Can I transfer this haraka in the back to the back one?
No.
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 What
You
I'm
need
going
to make it sukun.
forcefully make it sukun. Yes?
Yeah.
And then the next one will be same. Yes?
Yeah.
Can this and this be this?
Yes.
Yes.
So that's how you got
Darrat.
darrat. Yes? Okay. Perfect. Now, if we say can we do this? This is the
Yes.
substitution.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dararta.
Darrata.
Is the
Dararta.
first, don't get ahead of me because what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to show all the steps. So the first step is we substitute the letters into the pattern. So we got dararata. Dararata. Okay. So the first letter has the haraka. I cannot move the haraka backwards. So I'm just going to, force it to go sukoon.
Sukun.
Yes. Look, when you do this, inshallah, then the complexity is out. All you're doing is you're just following the rule one step at a time. Yes. And then this thing can be transferred into
Darrata.
Shadda.
you see my point? What I'm trying to do here?
Yeah.
I mean, if we were so good that we could do this in our head, then I wouldn't be doing this on a piece of paper. Yes?
Yes.
Now look at this one. This one will be
Dararna.
darar
Na.
na, right?
Yeah.
Are you with me so far?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Is this rule number 3? The
Yes.
second one is sakina.
Yes.
Second one.
Sakina.
So no.
No idgham.
So what will happen?
It will
Darar
remain as it is.
will stay like that. Is this siga number 6?
Yes.
This is siga number 5.
Yeah.
Did I say that only applies to siga number 5? Up till siga number 5,
Up
and
five.
then from
5,
6
yes.
onward.
Yeah.
After 6 onward, it will become normal. Why?
Yeah.
Because we don't apply idgham when the second double letter is sukoon.
Sukoon. Okay.
Making sense?
Yeah.
Now look at this slide again, one more time. Get it. Okay, so here, look at this slide one more time now. So we are saying we apply the rule of idgham when we have double letter in the position of ain and lam. Agree?
Yeah.
And the case number 1 is when the first double letter is sakin and the second one has haraka. We haven't seen the example of that yet, but we have seen the example of number 2 and number 3. Both double letters have haraka. Making sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
And the third one was if the second one is sukoon, then no idgham. Yeah? Changes occur in first 5 sigas of past tense. All sigas of present and future tense except the feminine plural sigas will change. So I'll show you an example. And rule applies on the bab nasara, daraba, and samia.
Yeah.
Okay. Now this is our previous class. Okay, look, this one is good. We looked at it already. Now look at this one. Remember this from the previous session?
Yes.
Look at here. I have written down those notes here, but now I have put it in the slide. So look what happens here. If you have da, ain, and if from bab nasara, yes. So I only show you the madi first siga and mudare first siga. So look at what happened here. Then this dal already has haraka, we can't touch it, but we force the ain to become sukoon. Yes? The a. Then what was the mudare? Yad'u. Yes? So when we said that this one will become sakina, then it will become yadu'u. Yadu. And then how do we write him? Simply by putting the shadda instead of writing the two ayns side by side. And what was our example from the Quran? Suratul Ma'un. Yad'ul yatim. Wala yahuddu ta'amil
Ala
miskin.
ta'amil miskin.
Okay, look at this one. Dad. Is dad mean daraba?
Yes.
Daraba?
Yes.
Okay, look at this. If you make madi of farara, that will become farara. Yafri'u. Yes? Yafri'u. Now, is this rule number 1? Look at the
Yeah, room number 1. Yeah.
Rule number, no, they both have haraka. This is the fa. No. This is not.
No, the fa and ra. So those are two.
So
first.
The repeat is okay. So this is the ya. Now I'm looking for a sakina here. That's not rule number 1. Okay, but it become farra yafirru. Yes, farra yafirru. That is fine.
It's mudari.
Masisa,
Yeah, both has haraka. Yeah. So. Yeah.
Say that again. Say that again.
Oh no, I said both ra has haraka on it.
Yeah. So it's not rule number 1. I didn't get maybe an example of.
Yeah.
That I didn't get an example of that. Okay. So what we have learned so far, can somebody summarize it for me? So if I ask you, let me ask you somebody here. Let's start with Brother Ijaz. Brother Ijaz,
Yes.
please tell me what rules of takhfif are. Rule of takhfif.
A rule of takhfif.
Yes, and where do we apply them? When I say takhfif, what is coming in your mind?
Hamzaitan verbs.
Mahmuzul Fa.
Mahmuzul fa, jazakallah khairan. And it could also be mahmuzul ain and lam, but they are
Mahmuzul ain,
not
yes.
very frequent. Okay, so rule number 1 of takhfif, what is our goal? Brother Ijaz?
Rule number 1 of takhfif.
Replace the hamza with
Replace Hamza with Alaf.
the weak letters.
Yeah, it could be alif, waw, or ye. So weak letters.
Yeah, Alaf, Waw, yeah.
Okay, good. The second rule, some sisters, what is the second rule, Sister Homa?
Yes.
Takhfif.
Takhfif,
Your goal is to deal with the hamza, right?
yeah.
So first one was to replace it with a weak letter. The second rule is
the second rule to replace it at all. Take it at
all together. Mashallah. Okay. Sister Jahan, in the past tense conjugation for Mahmudul Fa, is there any change in the conjugations?
I don't know.
No change.
No change.
No change. In the past conjugation, no change. And it was on the slide. Yeah. Now in the Brother Khurram, in the Mudare or the future and present tense, which siga is going to change for Mahmudul Fa?
Sikha number 13.
Very good, mashallah.
And 14.
So, no, 13.
Yes,
We said
13.
14. We're not talking about 14, but we said 13 for sure. Yeah. Okay. So here again, if you look at the information, and once I share it with you, inshallah, you'll be able to see it. So these are the rule of takhfif. Let's quickly review them together one more time. When we are dealing with hamza aided verbs, we apply rules of takhfif, especially when hamza is mahmuzul fa. Replace hamza with a weak letter, and the replacement is based on haraka. Alif is fatha, damma is waw, kasra is ya. Next thing, second rule, replace hamza altogether. Yeah. And then the thing to remember, if I am doing a past tense conjugation with mahmuzul fa, there is no change in the conjugation. Yes. And in the future and present tense, only sigha number 13 will be the one which will change. Yes.
Yep.
And we saw some examples. Yes. These examples we saw, and then we also saw these. You saw that, remember?
If you go to slide, the previous slide, brother, Abid,
Yeah.
previous slide.
This one?
Yeah. So this one, in the second and third, alif is with mud is there.
Oh, good point.
It should be waw and ye with mud.
Yeah, I think the guy made a typo, I think.
Okay. Just awesome. Okay.
Cut and paste. Yeah.
I think it's the same. Like it's not the sound the same if mat or standing alif on top. It sounds the same.
Okay, we'll get back to that. Let's continue for now. What's his name? Brother Javed, could you give me the rule of mudaf idgham? Brother Javed.
Yes. So adgham, if there is a haraka on first two letters, then we can do the adghams with shadda. If there is a second letter with sukoon, we cannot do the adgham.
Can you tell me about, there are three rules, right? The first one you said, if the first double letter is sakina and the second one is haraka, you do idgham. If they both have haraka, you do idgham. And you said if the second one has a sukoon, then no idgham, right?
There's no adgham there.
Okay, can you tell me how many, okay, somebody else. Who else is there? Brother Murad, how many families we deal with in Muda'af when we are applying the rules.
3.
What families are we dealing with, brother Brad? Okay, anybody else?
Misal,
Nasara,
three
Daraba,
families.
Samia.
Daraba, Nasara, Samia.
Now, somebody else. I need brother Yaqub. How many sigas of past tense will be affected by the rule of idgham?
1 to 5.
1 to 5, mashallah. And number 6,
Number 6 will not be affected.
we go back to normal. Yes?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, good. Let's see. So this is the Mahdi, and everything is not changing. And I think I don't have one for Mudare, at least not in this slide. Okay, so it's already 11 o'clock. With this review, are we feeling more informed or are we feeling more confused?
Informed, I think.
Informed.
Alhamdulillah,
And
we
some
learned
of,
something.
yes,
Somewhat
and some of your confusion is gone away. And what was the rule? What was the way to do it is when you do it with your own hand. Yes? When you do the simple, because if I didn't do this, then I cannot tell you why this darara become darra. You follow? So there are step number 1, step number 2, and then the final step number 3, which gives me this. Now the people, the teachers expect you to know this in your mind and like right away. If I say Bab Nasara and you have Dad Ra Ra, what is the siga number 1? You have to say Darra. Okay, so you have to do this calculation in your head. Yes, but we are not learning for the sake of passing a grade or proving it to somebody. We are trying to learn it goodly. So if we just take a little bit of time and take a piece of paper and say, okay, Bab Nasara, I know how Bab Nasara is. Nasara, Nasara, Nasaru. Nasarat, Nasarata, Nasarna. Let me substitute. Darara, Darara, Dararu. And then apply the rules. Okay, 2 harakas, make one sukoon. 1 sukoon and haraka, replace it with shadda, and the fatha will be because of this. Yes? Making sense? So we learn technically and mathematically or in a method way that how do we do this. So inshallah, if you after this class, if you find the time to do maybe a page or 2, then you'll start to feel really, really comfortable with this. Understood?
Sure.
Inshallah. Okay, so let's meet at 11:10, and then inshallah we'll take it to the next level. We'll learn today Misal Wawi. Inshallah. Okay, so don't leave the meeting, just mute yourself. If you have your camera on, then turn it off, and inshallah, and mute yourself before you go. Inshallah, I'll talk to you in a few minutes. Okay, Assalamu
Okay,
alaikum.
inshallah.
Not yet.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Alaikum assalam.
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Okay. Is everyone back yet? Okay, let's start again, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Everyone, just give me a quick nudge that you're back.
Ji.
Okay, alhamdulillah. Okay, so let's go to my camera for a sec, and then we'll switch back and forth. So can you guys see the screen clearly?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. So today, I remember when we did the Mahmoos and Mudaf, what was the third category? Mu'tal. Yes,
Yes.
is the third category. Now in Mu'tal we have the Mu'talul Fa, and we call Mu'talul Fa what? Misal,
Misal.
right? And the Mu'talul Ain is Ajwaf, and Mu'talul Lam is Naqis. Yes. So we are going in the order. First we did the Mahmoos, we did the Mudaf, and now we are doing Mu'talul Fa, which is Misal. Yes. Now Misal could be Wawi or Yai. Yes. And the three Bab we are going to deal with is Daraba, Fataha, Hasiba. Okay. So remember how in Mudaf we said Bab, Nasara, Daraba, and Samia? Yes. In this one, we are going to look at what Babs? Daraba, Fataha, and Hasiba. So if I look at Wawi example, so can I have Wa'ada?
Misal
Yes.
wawi wa'ada.
Wa'ada, right? Then Ya'i will be Ya'isa. Okay. Wazara, Yasira, Warasa or Warisa, because it's Hasiba. Warisa, Yabisa. You follow?
Yeah.
Okay. So one thing we have to remember, that we don't have to worry about fi'l madi. What does that mean?
There's no change.
There is no change.
No change.
In fi'l mudare, we'll have the change. Okay. And look at the rules. Very similar rules as part of takhfif. Rule of ta'lil, replace one weak letter with another weak letter. Have we seen something like this before? In Mahmoos,
Place one week
Hamza
letter
is
with
replaced with the
Yeah.
that
weak
replace
With,
Hamza.
with alif, which is
Yeah, Hamza with the weak letter. Yeah, in the rule of takhfif.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the rule of ta'lil, we are saying replace one weak letter with another weak letter. Yeah. And what was the second rule? Remove the weak letter altogether. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And most rules will apply to Wawi. Most rules will apply to
wawi.
Wawi. The Yai will be next to nothing. So we are not gonna worry too much about the Yai for now. For example, and we are dealing with Salasi Mujarrad. When I say Salasi Mujarrad, what comes to my mind? What comes to mind?
Three root words.
Three root letters, verbs, right? And how many families we have?
Three.
Salasi Mujarrad families, how many?
Three.
Six families.
Families. Guys.
Daraba, Fataha, yes. Hasiba,
Yes.
Nasara, Yakaruma.
Yes. But when we are dealing with the rules of Ta'leel, what families we gonna think about? Daraba,
Daraba,
Fataha,
Fataha, and
Hasiba. So
yes, sir.
You know, like remember my slides from earlier in the session that I put every detail on one page. So in the inshallah next week I'll put all these details on one page. But you have the pattern now. You understand that what are the rules. And if you have that slide in front of you when you're dealing with these verbs, at least you know what to do. Yeah? Okay, think about this now. We have, for example, we have daraba. Okay? What is daraba? Madi will be daraba. Yeah? Mudare will be yadribu. Yes?
Yadribu.
So if I take the word, the waw, ain, dal, is the waw here misal?
Yes.
Okay. So Madi, I said no change. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it will become wa'ada. Any problem there?
No.
No. But look at the mudare. It would have become yu idu. Yu idu. Yes.
Yeah.
So if we apply the rule here, if we replace the the weak letter, which weak letter are we going to replace? Wow.
Wow.
Okay. We're going to replace it altogether. So what will become? Ya idu. You see what happened? Rule number 2, replace it altogether. Ya idu. Do you see the vowel disappeared?
Yeah.
Are you with me, guys?
Yes.
Sisters are very quiet today. Oh, I forgot to say something. Okay. Couple of things I want to say. One of our sisters, Sister Lubna, you all know her very well.
Yes.
This morning, her sister in Pakistan passed away. And because of that, she's not in the class today.
Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un. I know she was very sick, the sister.
Pakistan, yeah. And because of that, our sister Hina, who's also related to Sister Lubna, she's also not in the class. That's why I have less people today. So let's make a dua maghfirah for them. May Allah, forgive all their sins and grant them highest place in Jannah.
Ameen, ameen, summa ameen.
Allahumma ighfir laha warhamha wa'afi wa'fu anha.
Inna
So
lillahi wa
inshallah, keep
inna
them,
ilaihi raji'un.
keep them in your du'as, and if you get a chance, maybe send her a note privately, sending your condolences. The other thing is that recently, from this week, yesterday I attended the janaza for Master Shamim. Do you guys know Master Shamim?
Yes, he did our nikah.
Yeah, mashallah.
And so did he did our nikah, and he also did Brother Salim and Sister Lubna's nikah.
He is his father-in-law of our good friend Sorab Bhai.
His father-in-law.
Most of you know him.
Because he is our Tabligh companion.
Yes, may Allah, raise his ranks and.
Yesterday I talked to him and offered condolence, and he was very disturbed.
Yes, and some of the things you might not know. That's in the schools there is this green qaida.
Yes, we know that.
They do
it
have
was
it.
introduced by him.
School and all the teachers, all madaris, also they provided free of cost.
Yes. Alhamdulillah.
These are all good deeds which he did while he was alive, and that's why today every one of us remember him in good ways. Yes.
He founded the Masjid Huda too.
Yes.
Mashallah.
He owns it.
What should we learn from his footsteps? That while we are still alive and have the opportunity, we want to do something similar. We leave our legacy behind. Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
So we want
Indeed.
people to remember us while we are gone in good words, and maybe whenever they think about us, they make dua for us. So inshallah, while we are still alive and have the opportunity, and if we are not doing any such thing right now, maybe we should think about making an impact on a larger community with our efforts, right? Because most of us are professionals. Alhamdulillah, we are all, good-hearted people. And one example, if I take it from this class, if you take somebody under your wing and say that, okay, whatever I have learned, I'm going to pass it on to at least one person. So imagine that one person, you're going to change their life. They will always remember you in good words, even when you're gone, or even when we are gone. Agree?
Yeah.
And if we cannot do that ourselves for whatever reason, then we can even convince people to take a lesson with somebody. Not necessarily with me, but there are so many schools and there are so many resources. And another thing we can do, which you might already be doing, we can sponsor an orphan or an orphan who's seeking knowledge of Deen, becoming an alim or becoming a hafiz of Quran or becoming a teacher.
Yeah.
That way also we will leave our legacy behind, because as long as that kid, after he becomes an alim, whatever he does, we will have a share in it. Do you agree?
Yeah, inshallah.
Yes.
Inshallah, think about some of these things. And last night, brother Nomani or Maulana
Yeah, he
Nomani
also passed away.
passed away, and I believe his janaza will be on Sunday. And
is it confirmed?
Not confirmed yet, but we'll find out. But I have a hunch that it will be in Chilliwack and most probably be on Sunday.
Yeah.
So to the brothers, I have a request that if you haven't visited the graveyard in the longest time, then once in a while going to the graveyard is a very eye-opening experience. Yeah.
Yes,
So if
absolutely.
you have time, and this Sunday, if you find out and if you can manage to go there, I would highly recommend that we go. There are two reasons. One, it's because it's Fardeh Kifaya on us, and we get a big reward. You know, according to the hadith of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, a person who attends the Janaza Salah gets one kirat.
One qirat.
And then the one who also goes to the cemetery all the way and then do the whole the rituals of the Janaza, then he gets another kirat. And the Sahaba asked, "What is a kirat?" And he said, "The two mountains worth of reward." You know, like the two mountains like Ohad. For example, Ohad used to be then a model example for a mountain. Yeah. So,
Brother Abid, I think there is a restriction for Chilliwack. Only 50 people is allowed.
No,
that restriction is not there.
Yeah, no restriction now.
No restriction.
At least in the Sari, there was no restriction yesterday.
No, in
Yes,
White
no
Rock,
restriction.
no restriction.
Even
but
in White Rock, there was no restriction. Okay.
Yeah, White Rock, there was no restriction.
Okay, so inshallah, back to our subject, and we will just discuss it briefly today, and then inshallah we will go in detail next time. So what we have covered so far, we are dealing with Misal. Misal is Mu'talul Fa, and the rules of Ta'lil are replace one weak letter with the another one, or replace the weak letter altogether. We are dealing with Wawi and Salasi Mujarrad, and the Babs are Daraba, Fataha, Hasiba. Some examples I given you here, and as you saw, in the Mudare there is a change, in the Madi there is no change. Okay, so some of these examples right here. If I give you Fataha example, what does Madi look like? Fataha. What does Mudare look like? Yafta. Yes. And if I give you Waw Haba, then it will become Wahaba, because Madi no change. Yes.
Yeah.
Then it will become Yuhabu because of Yaftahu. So what I did first, I substituted. In this case, what am I going to remove?
Drop the waw with
Wow.
kasra.
Because Waw is in the Fa kalima, yeah?
Yeah.
So then it will become Yahabu.
Yahab.
Okay? Yahabu. Now,
Yahabu liman yasha'u.
okay, now think about this. How do you make a fail amr? You take the second siga, right? Tahabu.
Yeah.
And then you remove the alamat mudare, which is ta, and you make the haraka sakin, it becomes hab. Tahab become hab. Is hab a fail amr?
Yes.
Habli milladunka waliya. In the Quran, have you seen the word habli? Guys, I don't know what's going on. Nobody's responding. So what's going on?
I think it's habli min ladunka rahmah. It's somewhere
Right? So now it should make you feel happy that this hub is because of this mithal.
Yes.
Rabbi habli min ladunka rahmatan wa hayyi lana min amrina rashada.
So this habli mean give it to me or bestow upon me. This is how you get hub. The actual word was yuhabu. Okay? The actual thing was yuhabu, but you will not see yuhabu because it will transfer into yahabu, and if you fail amr, it will become hab, not something else. Making sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Daraba Yadribu. Agree? If I give you the root words waw, lam, jim, what are you going to
Walaja.
do? Walaja,
Yuliju.
madi, no change.
Yaliju.
Okay. Yuliju become yaliju.
Yaliju.
Why? The waw is replaced. Now warisa from hasiba. Samia yasmau or
Yes,
hasiba yahsibu. Okay, warisa yurisu, it become yarisu. Making sense?
Brother Abid, when we pronounce Yoresu and Yaresu, is there any difference in meaning?
No, meaning stays the same. Just because of the rule of Mu'attalul Fa, the way you write it changes. Making sense?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So this was, in a nutshell, what the Talil is. I've introduced it to you. But let me quickly show you some more information. Okay. So here, look at this. In the future, when you are going to learn the rule of Talil, depending on is Misal, Ajwaf or Nakis, main rule is you are going to replace one weak letter with another one. Yes? If a fatha is followed by a waw or ya mutaharrik, the waw and ya is changed into an alif. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. That means awa, avi, au, aya. Okay? Then look at the next one. And then ayi, ayu is changes to alif. What is going on here? The weak letter with haraka is followed by fatha. So simple rule will be anytime you will see that combination, you can change it to alif. Making sense? Think about the weak letters. Why are they called weak letters? Because they don't have the energy to lift their own weight, so they rely on a teamwork. And the team is, for waw and ya, the teamwork is done by alif. Yeah? They change into alif, waw or ya. They interchange with each other. Okay. For example, the original word is kawala, but it changes to qala.
Allah.
Okay. Have you seen kawala in the Quran?
No.
No. Baya'a, that changes to ba'a.
Ba.
Right? Da'a wa, it becomes changes to
Da'a.
da'a.
Yeah.
Tawula changes to ta'ala.
Qala.
Khawifa changes to khafa.
Khafa.
Okay. Also, you must have seen in the Quran, Kila.
Qila.
Yes. There are so many times you see this, hear the word Kila in the Quran. So that because of this rule of changing the weak letters from one from the other. Okay, look at this. Naila, Nala. Ramaya, Rama.
Rama.
Yaksha, okay, Yaksha'u, Yaksha, like that. Okay, now let's take a look at the next page. This one I showed it to you. If you have Bab Fataha and you have these three root letters, Wahaba, Yahabu, Walaja, Yaliju, Warisa, Yarisu.
Yarisu.
Okay, this one we're not going to talk about right now, but let's see this one. These are some of the examples from the Quran. وَوَجَدَكَ عَائِلًا. Yes, from Surah Al-Duha. Bab Daraba. What are the root letters? Wow,
Wow. Jim Dal.
Dal. Is this Misal?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And are we discussing Misal right now?
Yes.
Misal
وَوَجَدَ فِيهَا جِدَارًا from Surah Al-Kahf.
Surah Al-Kahf.
So these are, Wajada mean it is Madi.
Madi.
So there is no change. Yes. Now what do you understand from Wajada? How many people were there?
Two.
Two.
Two. Hadrat Khizr and Musa alayhi salam.
Misal.
So they both found this wall. Yes, fiha, in it. Where were they? In a city. In the city, what they found? Both of them? A wall. Follow?
Yeah.
Okay. Next one. Wala tajidu aksarahum shakireen. Now tajidu, do you see the wow there?
No.
No.
It was tujidu. The actual word was tujidu.
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 The wow
Yes.
got dropped, it became tajidu.
Tajidu.
Is that making sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Then the next one, Yawma tajidu kullu nafsin ma amilat min khairin muhdara.
Muhdara.
Okay. Tajidu again was tujidu.
Yeah.
Because mudare, we apply the rule of talil. Madi, we do not need any rule of talil. Inni la ajidu riha Yusuf. Ajidu again, it is because of the rule of talil. Now on the bab daraba, if you have the root words or root letters waw, zal, ra, la taziru waziratu wizra ukhra. You see how many variations in there? Okay. Now look at the next one. Waw, lam, jim. Ya'lamu ma yaliju fil ardi wa ma yakhraju minha. Now tell me, is yaliju mudare or madi?
It's mudare.
Mudare. So you see, it was yuliju.
Yuliju, yes.
Follow?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mr. Homa, are you with us?
Yes. Yeah.
Why are you so quiet today? Okay, it looks like you're busy.
No,
Okay. Okay, let's see. What was I going to do?
Yaliju is mudari.
So next one. Wow, ain dal. Ash-shaytanu ya'idukumul faqra. Right? The shaitan makes you, yes, he makes you scared of poverty.
Poverty.
Ya'idukum. He makes you believe that you will if you spend the money, you will become poor. Yeah? Now look at the next one. Sorry. Can you guys see the next one? Because I can't see it.
Wa'aza.
Wahua.
Wa'aza.
Wahuwa ya'iduhu.
Wow.
It was yu'izu.
Yes.
Yes.
Because of the rule of ta'lil, it becomes ya'izu. Yes? Are you finding it too difficult, by the way?
No.
No.
If we are only thinking about rules of ta'lil, then it makes sense. But if you don't have that in your mind, I start thinking, what is that ya? Is it a prefix or is it part of the word?
So again, if you write it down the way I wrote it down, like you say, okay, bab, daraba, fataha, and hasiba, and then take some like this chart I'm giving you. It is a good example for you to write it down next time. Yeah, and put the rules in front of you. Very simple rules. Talil is I am going to replace one root weak word letter with another weak letter. I have some rules for that. And then when I'm doing that, I have to look at the haraka of the letter, right? I know that fatha is alif, dhamma is waw, and ya is kasra, right? I've already made those information blocks in my head. Now over here, right now we are saying warisa is from hasiba. Yes? Inna nahnu narisul arda wa man alayha. Is narisu mudare or madi?
Mudare from Nurisu.
It was nurisu.
Yeah.
It was nurisu. But now it become narisu because the waw is dropped because of the rule of talil. Of talilul, actually motalul fa. So now we have to learn motulul ain, motulul lam in the future lessons. But we are putting this information in small packets one by one, and we are moving forward. And alhamdulillah, at the end of the day, when you look at it with the bigger picture, there are very little variations from each other, but they are similar in nature. Agree? Because we are either replacing or merging or doing this, and we are following similar rules. And again, if we don't have to teach anyone or do an exam on it, at least if I understand, it's good enough for me. Yeah. Okay. Wazara. So watazaruna al-akhira. With the fataha, wahaba. Yahabu limay yasha inasahu wa yahabu limay yashahu zukuru. Now who can translate this for me? Sister Homa, you tried. Yahabu mean he gives or he bestow. Limay yasha, whoever he wishes. Inasahu.
Yeah, the male or female children probably is.
He's saying that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Yahibu, he gives or bestow whoever he wishes, girls, or whoever he wishes, boys.
Boys.
Zakur is from Muzakkar, mean plural of, Zakara. Zakara mean male, and Inasa from ins is from the female. Yeah?
What was the meaning for Wahaba? Give?
Mean gives, he gives. Remember the surah Taha, Maryam, when Hazrat Zakaria said, Habli min ladunka waliya?
Ah, yes.
Give me a bestow, or give me a child. Yeah. So Yahibu. And in Surah Al-Kahf, they said, Rabbi Habli min ladunka rahma wa hayyi lana min amrina rashada. Right? So grant us. Basically, Yahabu is like grant us. Yeah. All right.
Or
Okay.
Ibrahim alayhi salam dua. Rabbi habli min ladunka.
Right. Yes. And for your benefit, I have given you the full charts. Look at this. I have the Daraba Yadribu chart for Madi. Okay. I want you to go through this on your own time, and you will see that in Madi there will be no change, but in Mudare you will see the waw will be dropped. Yajidu, Yajidani, Yajiduna. So please print it out, maybe write it down, read it out loud. Sometimes just reading it out loud will help you. Okay. From Fataha Yaftahu, I gave you the Girdan of Madi and also the Mudare. Again, in the Mudare, the waw is dropped. Why are we only thinking about waw? Because we're dealing with Mu'talul
Misal wabi.
Misal wabi. Yes? Okay, good. Hasiba Yahsabu or Hasiba Yahsibu. Varisa, Varisa, Varisu. And look at this. This is beautiful. If you know this by heart, wallahi, you are like ahead of everyone, right? So this is the Mudare, and this, inshallah, you read through this and you will really benefit. Okay. So are we good?
Alhamdulillah.
So far, so good. Alhamdulillah.
Okay. Now, I tell you, with every difficulty comes ease. Okay. So if you are feeling that, oh no, this is so difficult, well, the thing is, until this class, we didn't know about it. But now, alhamdulillah, we know a little bit. We are not the perfect masters yet, but we have taken the first step. And inshallah, if we just keep on doing this, and you know it from practice, when you read a surah in the Quran, the first time, second time, third time, your tongue is just stuttering. And you're not able to say the words. But then a time comes, you can even read the whole surah in your sleep because it becomes so fluent on your tongue. Like Qul Huwallahu Ahad. Do you even have to think about it? No, right? So repetition and practice makes you perfect. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So we have 20 minutes. Let's read our Quranic verses. I sent you this earlier last night, or maybe last night or this morning, and maybe last night. I think last night.
Yes.
This is from Surah Al-Araf, and the meaning of Surah Al-Araf is the heights. And I'm sure that the people who are frequent in the reading of the Quran, they may also know the background of Surah Al-Araf, that how on the Day of Judgment there will be a wall, and there some people will be sitting on it, and they'll be looking at everyone, and they are not in heaven yet, not in hell yet, but they are hopeful that they will end up in Jannah. And then there is a dialogue between them and the people of the, down there. So some of the verses I took from here is these. Let's read it together, inshallah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا بني آدم خذوا زينتكم عند كل مسجد وكلوا واشربوا ولا تسرفوا. Do you see a lot of fail amr here?
Yes. Khudu.
Take. Zinatakum. Your adornment. in the kulla masjid, at every masjid. Wakulu, and eat.
Yeah.
Washrabu, and drink.
Yeah.
But look at the important part.
Wala
Wala tusrifu. Do not waste. But do not waste. Eat whatever you want, drink whatever you want, but do not tusrifu. Do not be wasteful. Why? Innahu, indeed, Allah, He, la yuhibbul musrifin. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not like the people who do waste. Now, what is the meaning of take your adornment at every masjid? Now, who remembers at the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the mushrikeen, they used to do the tawaf of Kaaba in what state?
Naked.
Naked. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, don't do that. Okay, over here. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is commanding taking adornment when going to the masjid. So over here, if you read the tafsir, it is refuting that the idolaters, the mushrikeen, the practice of performing tawaf around the sacred house while naked. Okay, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying we should not do that. The Muslims should not do that. So take your adornment to every masjid mean that there were people who used to perform tawaf around the house while naked, and Allah ordered them to take adornment, meaning wear clean, proper clothes that covers your private parts. People were commanded to wear these best clothes when performing every prayer. So how do we go to the masjid? One of the etiquettes of masjid is that alhamdulillah we go there with our best dress and we're looking our best. Yes.
Yeah.
Also for men, one of the adornment is they wear a perfume and they use a siwak. What is siwak? The miswak. Yeah. So inshallah this and then the other thing, the important message we should also take out of this, prohibiting extravagance. Wakulu washrabu. Now we are all guilty of this. Alhamdulillah, we are in a country where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed with all these blessings. You open the fridge, it's hard for you to decide what you're going to eat. Why? Because you have so many choices. Versus there are people, they have nothing to eat. Now, what do we do with that food? Whether we intentionally or unintentionally, we throw away a lot of food. Why? Because we could not consume it in due time and it either expired, or or we leave sometime half a food in the plate when we are in a party or a gathering. Does that happen to you? Can you relate to that?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Inshallah, with this we should maybe regret doing that moving forward. We should not do that. Also, when we are eating our food, remember Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that you lick the food and the fingers, so that you don't know which part of the food has the most barakah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when we are in the privacy of our own homes, maybe we are following the sunnah. But when we are in public, we try to shy away from that, because then people might think that why is he licking his finger in public? Or why is he cleaning his plate with his finger, So again, everything our Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has taught us has some wisdom in it. So hopefully we can follow that. Yeah?
Yeah.
So what do? We do everything. When we go to the masjid, we do our best. We eat and we drink whatever we like out of the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala provided us, but we should not be wasteful, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not like the people who waste. And again, over here, this verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, Kul man harrama zinatallahi allati akhraja li ibadihi wa tayyibati minar rizq. What people do, out of their own knowledge, they would make certain clothing haram and also certain things haram. Okay? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that those who prohibit any types of food, drink or clothes according to their own understanding without relying on what Allah has legislated. Do you understand what this means?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and we are very hasteful in this. Yeah. We have this halal and haram gun, and we say, okay, this is halal, this is haram, this is halal, this is haram. Sometimes we don't know, but we still give our opinion. And sometimes if a person who is eating something and he didn't know about that information, if you give them wrong information, and if that food was the only choice they had, now all of a sudden they have become in a lot of stress because they can't eat that food because you provided them this information that there is halal or haram. So is it important that we verify our information before we even talk about it?
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Right? It's very important. I've seen people going really stressed because of some information they got from somebody, and then they go into a loop of searching and finding out, and then later on they found out that that information was not entirely correct. Yeah, you causing harm to other people by giving them wrong or incomplete information. Yeah, so inshallah we should avoid doing that. Now some of these blessings in the dunya are for everybody enjoys that, whether they're Muslim or not. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that in the akhirah, these blessings will be only for the people of Jannah, not for the people of hellfire. Okay, so I'm not going into a lot of detail here, but inshallah, let's see, we have some time. So who has forbidden the adornment with clothes given by Allah, which he has produced for his slaves, meaning these things were created for those who believe in Allah and worship him in his life, even though the disbelievers share in these bounties in this life. In the hereafter, the believers will have all this to themselves, and none of the disbelievers will have a share in it. For paradise is prohibited for the disbelievers. So we should be very thankful that Alhamdulillah we are believers, and may Allah keep us believers till our last breath.
Ameen.
And give us
Ameen.
the best ending, so that we can benefit in the hereafter from these verses. So this is how. And again, is the Arabic making more friendly to you now when you read these verses? By the way,
Yeah, Alhamdulillah.
Friendly, and now we can understand and pronounce. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
So look, if you read the words, harrama is from haram. Yes.
Yeah.
Right. So if you go into the advanced topic, you remember there is a babe if'al, and then there is a babe taf'il. In that babe taf'il, there is a shadda on it, and it makes emphasis, even more emphasis, haram. And zina, what is zina?
It's
When you
adornment.
Beauty.
when you make beauty, make something beautiful.
Beauty.
Zinat.
Zina, yes. Is over here the zina, is it masculine or feminine?
Feminine.
Feminine.
Okay, very good. Now allati is what? Do you know what allati is?
Feminine.
Is for feminine. Is for jar.
Yes, for allazi is for male, allati is for female, meaning this allati or which. Yeah. Akhraja is from baba ifal. Aslama
Really,
yaslam.
Amar.
Akhraja, no, it's not fail amr, it's fail madi. Akhraja yukhriju. But
Yes.
over here, if you had to go madi and salasi mujarrad, there will be kharaja. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Try to use your imagination a little bit. So if it was salasi mujarrad, it would have been kharaja. Kharaja means he exited. Okay, but when you have akhraja, mean he brought out something else. You follow? So just adding the alif in the beginning changed the meaning. Now he's not exiting himself or bringing himself out. He's bringing something else out. So he has brought out what? For his slaves, li ibadihi. Ibad is abad, from ibad, abad, right? But tayyibat, what is tayyibat? Is pure things. Rizq is sustenance. Yes.
Yeah.
So he bring out for you the pure things for sustenance. Kul hiya allazina amanu fil hayati dunya. And kul means say. To who? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Hiya is they. Lil lazina are for those amanu, that these blessings of Allah is for who? For the people who believed. Fil hayati dunya, in the life of the dunya, but khalisatan yawm al qiyamah. What is the meaning of khalis?
Exclusively.
Exclusively, khalis हम कहते हैं किसी चीज को which is pure, right? Something which is pure is called khalis. The khalis milk or khalis whatever, So khalisatan in here is exclusively that on the day of judgment, these blessings will be only for the people of Jannah. And kazalika, like this, and therefore, what we do? Nufassilu. Nufassilu mean we explain. Nufassilu from also fasla. Fasla क्या होता है? You just give a decision. Nufassilul ayati. Ayati is the plural of aya. Is aya singular or plural?
Aya is singular.
Singular.
Ayat is
Masculine or
plural.
feminine?
Feminine.
Feminine.
Feminine. Liqawmi ya'lamun. Who is this people? What are these signs explaining to who? The people who know. Yeah?
People of knowledge.
People of knowledge. Now, this is another important lesson from this verse. Kul innama harrama rabbil fawahisha. That say, Allah has only forbidden the shameful deeds. Fawahish is, English mein, what do we say? Immoral deeds. Immorality. Okay, fawahish. Look at the next one. Ma zahara. What is zahara?
Apparent.
Apparent. Zahir.
Visible.
Minha. Minha mean from these sins, whatever is the fawahish, whether they are visible or invisible. Wama batana. Batana mean
Concealed.
from batan. You know what is inside your stomach? Can somebody see what is inside your stomach?
No.
Okay, so batana, hidden is concealed. Wal isma wal baghya bighayri al-haqqi wa an tushriku billahi ma lam yunazzil bihi sultana wa an taqulu ala Allahi ma la ta'lamun. So my Lord has only forbidden immoralities, what is apparent of them and what is concealed, and sin. Ithm, this ithm here is sin.
Sin.
And baghya is from baghawat, rebellion, oppression. Okay, oppression without right, bighair al haq, without any right. Like you cannot hurt somebody if you don't have a right over them. Like if like without ना हक किसी को आप परेशान नहीं कर सकते, ठीक है? And that you associate. What is the bigger sin? The biggest one that you associate with Allah, for which you have no evidence, you have no authority. Yeah. And then you also, another big thing is you say things about Allah which you don't know. Yes. So if we go to the tafsir, so we say fahisha, sin, transgression, shirk, and lying about Allah are prohibited. So I am just, this heading summarizes the concept of that verse. Is that making sense?
Yeah.
Fahisha, anything immoral we do is called fahisha. Whether you do it in the privacy of your own home or you do it openly, it is all fahisha. Yes? Okay.
Yes.
So none is more jealous than Allah, and this is why He prohibited fahisha committed openly or in secret, and none likes praise more than Allah. This was also recorded in the two Sahihs. In the explanation of Surah Al-An'am, we explained the fahisha that is committed openly and in secret. Allah said next, and ithm, which is the sin, and transgression without right. Okay, what does that mean? Ithm include all types of disobedience. So anything we do disobeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is a form of sin. Sin saghira, small, or kabira. Making sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Allah said that the oppressor commits oppression against himself. Why? Therefore, the meaning of the sin, the meaning of ithm is the sin that one commits against himself, while oppression pertains to transgression against other people, and Allah prohibited both. Are you guys clear on that?
Yeah.
And joining partners with Allah for which He has given you no authority prohibits calling partners with Allah in worship. And also saying things about Allah of which you have no knowledge, such as lies and inventions, like claiming that Allah has a son, and other evil creeds that you do. O idolaters, have no knowledge of this. This is similar to saying, then I can just stop here right now. But this kalam was to the mushrikeen. What the mushrikeen was doing? They were involved in fahisha. Remember, in the time of Jahiliyyah, all kind of immoral act used to happen. Agree?
Yeah.
Yes. And the sin was widespread, and also the oppression was widespread. There was no rule of law. Yes.
Yeah.
Was shirk was abundant. They
Yeah.
used to worship the idols.
360 idols.
Yes. And do they used to lie about Allah? They used to say these angels are the daughters of Allah.
Yeah.
And Allah has son. The Nasara used to say that Allah has son. Yes. So all of these, yes. So how do these verses apply to us? That inshallah we take the messages from here, and we try to make tawbah and return to Allah, and make sure that we follow. For example, here we eat and drink, but we do not be wasteful, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not like. Now, right now, we do it unintentionally, but I think we should be more mindful so that we can stop it. Yes. And we should also not make ourselves an authority telling people this is halal, this is haram, you can do this, you cannot do that, because we do not have the entire knowledge of the Sharia, and we also don't have the enough knowledge. We learn a few things here and there, and we become sheikh, and we say, okay, this is halal, this is haram, and the other people get really negatively affected by that. Agree?
Yeah. In
So
Surah
high
Al-Nahl,
level message.
in Surah Al-Nahl, Allah says, if you say like this one, then you are it is a lie to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. ولا تقولوا لما تصفوا ألسنتكم هذا حلال وهذا حرام لتفتروا على الله الكذب.
Yes, alhamdulillah. So I hope that by reading these verses, at least we get some personal messages out of it, and then we apply in our lives in whichever capacity we can. And then also we try to stay away from fawahish, whether it's hidden or apparent, and then we try not to be sinful, also not oppress other people. And on top of it, we should not do shirk of any kind, whether shirk saghir or shirk kabir, because we have no authority over that, and we should not talk about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala things we don't know.
Yep.
So Ya Allah, give us guidance and
Ameen, Ameen, Allahumma Ameen.
Provide us the knowledge, and let us help us that we do the right thing in the right time and frame of mind, and whatever doesn't concern us, we try to stay away from it, inshallah. So I hope that despite all the difficult subject and concept, I think we did make a lot of progress. And at the end of the day, when you sit down and think about it, inshallah, you will agree with me and you will feel good about yourself. Yes?
Yeah.
Allahumma wa bihamdika wa nashhadu la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Jazakallahu khairan.